Hello everybody, this is Jeremy within the DA. Welcome back. Today's video is going to be a very quick one. Recently we got an email asking us how to go about utilizing something like the PreSonus Studio channel when you only have a 2-channel interface and you want to mix using it. And so I thought today would be a really cool little video to show you how you can do it. Now this has quite a few pitfalls because you only have a 2-channel interface. You technically only have 2 outputs. So if we go into our IO section, I set this back to default and we can see everything that's active. Now for a 2-channel interface, your outputs are only going to be main outs. And if they have anything else, it's just going to be the mono 1 and 2. So what you want to do is if you don't have the mono 1 and 2, you want to make 2 mono tracks, make sure that they're set up like this. And your outputs that you have on your interface are going to be labeled right here, channels 1 through 64 for me. And that's because I have the Studio Live 32SC paired with my 24R. We hit apply and we hit OK. The next step is to create a bus that's going to have the ability to have a mono output. Now, the reason why I say that is because your main output is not capable of having a mono output. Even set to mono, you only have a stereo output choice. So you're going to want to have a submix or mix bus. And what I do is I always have all of my channels stemming into their own buses. So we have the drums here, the effects here, the tracks and stuff like that here for this mix. And then for my output, I can actually select something to feed my screen recorder, which is right here. So we just do that. And that's feeding the screen recorder. And then for my main output, I'm going to choose 1 channel. So in this case, let's choose the left channel, which is sub 1. So now if I play the track, you in your case would be hearing it out of your left output. For me, since I have so many outputs, it would be tape in left. Now everything is just coming out of 1 channel. Now, since I have a console, I can make this left channel into a mono channel and I can hear it in both headphones, but it is still mono. The next step is to insert an instance of pipeline. So we'll choose the snare for this and we'll go pipeline. Now what we need to do is choose the output of our console. In this case, it's channel 2 because we use channel 1 as our listening or our output to our speakers. So channel 2 is our output of our DAW. So I'm just going to change the output of my patch bay. And then we choose the return. Now, if you have a 2-channel interface, you're only going to have 2 channels to return to, and you can choose which channel you want to use. So that is dependent on you and your setup. For me, since I have a bunch of stuff set up into my patch bay, I have to choose channel 21. And already you hear my voice, right? So now if I hit channel 22, boom, it's nothing. So if I hit auto, this will actually time align this and make sure that it's sample accurate. You can also use this to see if you are gain compensating or not. So I'm going to bypass the compressor and EQ. And you can see that I am indeed a little bit too loud. That's almost perfect. Let's do auto one more time just to tighten up that sample aligning. And there you go. Cool. So now I should be able to get signal into the studio channel. If I solo up the snare, I see the meters running. So now I can go ahead and maybe do some EQing and some compression. So let's do a little bit of EQing. Cool, and we'll turn the compressor on and we'll do a little bit of compression. We're going to go for like a 6:1 ratio with a relatively fast attack and a super fast release. Let's check the gain compensation. It gives me a much more aggressive attack, right? Bypass. On. That's it. It's really that simple, that easy. Now, a downside to this is that you only have a left or a right channel to monitor through. So if you are on a PC and have multiple interfaces, one thing that you should do is look into something called Audiometer Banana. It is a donationware piece of software, but it's essentially an audio device that allows you to pair multiple devices together. So if you have two USB interfaces, you can connect them and actually go into the Audiometer Banana and turn it into one interface. And this will allow you to have multiple outputs if you use it as your sound device. And the way that you do that is you go into Studio One options, audio setup, and you choose that as your interface. Now, these are the interfaces that I have drivers for. The only ones that I actually own are the Audio Box, the DN32, which is a Midas M32, I believe, HX Stomp, and the Helix, as well as the Fire Studio, which is a Studio Live, and then my Series 3. I also have a little Behringer interface that I actually gave away, so I don't even have that anymore. But you would have your interface here, and since it wouldn't be something from PreSonus, it would actually be one of these kind of generic ones, and you just choose Audiometer Banana. That is honestly my biggest tip. I would say use that if you are utilizing this, because you can easily do the sample compensation by simply aligning it like that. And Studio One is actually really good at aligning it. Notice how when I did it, it didn't change the samples at all. That meant that it stayed locked down. The only reason why it didn't lock down earlier was because I changed the routing. Now, to connect to your studio channel, if you're using this to mix through, I highly recommend using a TRS balanced cable, a tip ring sleeve balanced patch cable that will go into the line input of the unit. This will bypass the XLR preamp, and this will actually give you line level signal, meaning that you will have less noise to deal with, and meaning that you will actually have a lot more headroom because it will be using it as an insert, not as something going through the preamp. If you go into the XLR input that is mic level, and it is automatically going to boost it through the preamp, and that will add a lot of noise, and that happens no matter what interface and no matter what piece of gear you use. Unless it has a mic line switch, like a Neve preamp or something, you should be using the line level input. Use the line level output, which will be 1/4 inch or XLR. But I again would say 1/4 inch TRS, which is balanced tip ring sleeve, into whatever input you want to use. And this will give you a clean line level signal. That's it for this video. I hope it helped, and I hope it kind of gave you some information and some kind of tips on things to do in case you are stuck in this situation. Obviously, for me, it doesn't really work very well to use Audiometer Banana because I have a 64 channel routing system on my 32 channel console, but I have done this before when I didn't have this console, and it does work very well. I have no clue for Mac because I'm not using a Mac, as you can see, but I'm sure I can get someone like Ryan or my friend Luis to have something set up for that. So if you want to see that, let us know. We'll take a look at making that happen. This is Jeremy Mateo within the DAW. If you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button and please subscribe and leave comments. You can also contact us through our website, inthedaw.com, or you can also go there and grab some free impulse responses that we make and some free Helix presets. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.